Welcome back, tribe. Have one here from the Diary of a CEO. Why men have no real friends?
My friends are my colleagues and my friends that I've had for 10 years. That is it. I don't make new friends. And this is something that I have echoed to me a lot when I meet men out and about, when I do talks and stuff and they come up to me after. I've had men whisper to me, how do I make friends where I'm lonely? And when they do it, they come really, really close so that the person behind them in the queue can't hear them say it.
I've had exactly the same experience.
And they whisper it about how do I make friends where I'm feeling lonely or something like that. And I've heard in your work, the work that was in your book, I think on page 45, you say that there is a male friendship recession. What did you mean when you said that?
We're seeing a decline in friendships generally, but it's much more acute for men. So in the US, 15% of men under the age of 30 say they don't have a single close friend. That's up from 3% in 1990.
Whoa.
And so that's almost 1 in 7 men. You're seeing declining number of men saying how much time they spend with friends, shrinking social networks, everything you just described, which is like the process of making and sustaining friends is just something that men are really struggling with right now, much more so than women. And I think there's a couple of things going on here. One is we're revealing the extent to which a lot of that work was actually outsourced to women before, right? So if you're in a couple, how often are the social arrangements made by the women? They do a lot of that maintenance, the relationship maintenance, and the men free ride on the women, right?
Every weekend plan that's outside of my comfort zone, pretty much most of them come from my partner.
All right, she's organized something.
She's an organizer. She wants to go try this thing.
Right. And you're
Let's go do vegan sushi roll.
Again, this is looking at the lens of the modern world or the recent modern world. This shit wasn't true, man, 100 years ago. Men had men had a ton of friends and acquaintances. It's not the issue. The issue is we have no more male spaces. For example, men's only establishments, mentorship programs for men only. The Boy Scouts don't even exist anymore, guys. They took down the Boy Scouts because boys only is not allowed. So they made it, or at least they opened it up to women as well. And they already had Girl Scouts. They opened it up. So boys don't have their own spaces anymore. Good job. You can't be an Eagle Scout anymore. They basically destroyed that. Society changed the narrative on what a boy is supposed to be like: feminine, repressed, in his room, playing video games, watching anime, doing dances on TikTok. He's not going outside anymore. He's not playing with a stick. He's not playing tag, flag football, basketball in the neighborhood. Nothing. That's how you used to make friends. You used to do physical activity, sports, ride your bike around all day with your friends. That's gone. All the little cues, the social norms we had that gave young boys a social network is disappeared. We live in a digital age now, and they want to be shocked that these numbers are increasing to such a degree. 15% right now. That number will probably double. It'll jump to 30 in the next 10, 15 years. I don't doubt it at all. We're accelerating on the decline, guys. I mean, look around you. Even if you wanted to do something today, you can't afford it. So there's an economic underpinning now to actually enjoying yourself. Where?
I just want to play Far Cry 5.
I just want to lie on my back and watch Manchester United.
All right, fine. Exactly. I chose the wrong thing. Yeah, no. So I think and women have been better at it, and men haven't had to do as much of it. So in some ways, I think we're being exposed a bit more in the sense that women aren't doing as much of that work for us anymore. They're saying, look, I'm it's not my job to create your friendship network for you. So we're having to do it, and we're not very good at it, and we're certainly not very good at it yet. And I've had the same experience. I mean, I wrote a bit about loneliness, and I spoke at an event not that long afterwards, and I had a couple of young men, exactly the same as you, just come close and just say, I'm incredibly lonely, and thank you for talking about this. And you end up hugging them, and actually, for me, I was talking to someone about this the other day. There's something about loneliness that just breaks my heart in a way that other forms of suffering don't. And I don't know why, but if I hear about someone that's really lonely, my mom was talking about this guy that she ran into him, and he was going to this supermarket, and
we need physical activities. I hate harping on this. Guys bond through physical hardship. Why do you think dudes in the army make friends for life? Brotherhood. Why do you think guys that go to contact sport gyms make friends for life? Why do you think those are so deep and meaningful? They'll take a bullet for one another. Because when you share a common experience under physical duress, it allows you to bond. It's just the way men work. This has been proven psychologically by research papers and all this other bullshit. We don't need eggheads to tell us this. We could just look at how we've structured our lives from the beginning of time when man started walking the fucking earth, when we were coming out of the caves with spears in our hand, and you were a little teenager, and then you had your coming of age, becoming a man, going on the first hunt, and then all the men would go together in the first hunts, all the hunts actually, not the first hunts, but all the men would come, gather, get the weapons, go out on the hunt, come back, bring the village the food. This still happens in areas where tribes are still present or nomads or shit like that. Men had their own social circles away from women. Men had their own duties and responsibilities away from women. We don't anymore. Women have invaded every space. Hate to be that guy. You want to see a space that was invaded by women and completely corrupted and over-sexualized? Twitch, dude. A place where nerds used to just stream video games. That was all Twitch was back in the day. And then women were like, wow, if I could push my tits up with a push-up bra and stream myself being garbage at video games, I will then take advantage of thirsty simps who will donate and subscribe infinite amounts of money. And then that rapidly devolved into hot tub meta shit. They're in their bikinis, bouncing around on a hot tub, live streaming, doing absolutely fucking nothing. Shit like this has been happening in every single male space everywhere you look. And they go, why aren't men making friends? Where the fuck are the men's spaces?
You know, he was in front of her, you know, in the queue, and she's like, no, I'll go after you. He's like, no, you go first. And he says, I'm on my own. And actually, the hours after dinner, especially in the summer, they're the hardest. So I always come down here to the supermarket and I buy a couple of things and then come back and have a chat. And, you know, it fills my time. And my mum, because she's like a massive, like, she's like a social worker to the world. She ends up chatting to him and getting his phone number. But actually, that just pierced my heart. It just, and so when you hear about these men, young, old women, as like who are lonely, I think it's huge. And so back to our earlier bit of the conversation too, is like those institutions that maybe used to kind of connect you to other people, right? Where do you make friends? And you just said at work, right? And so I think our colleagues in some ways become our friends, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying it is a bad thing, but it's different to the friends you've made at church or through your sports or through, do you know what I mean? Or wherever. And so the other thing I'll say about this is, have you heard of the men's sheds movement?
I don't know what a men's sheds is, but I've heard of male groups and stuff emerging.
Yes, there's a lot of male groups emerging. There's one which is the Australian government just funded this in Australia. It's called the men's sheds, and they're places where men go and fix stuff. Like you'll bring a lawnmower, right? Do stuff.
You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds to me like, you know, where you got that lion that's been caged up his whole life and he doesn't really know how to hunt. So then like they try to coax him so he can be his true animal self by like dropping a little fucking sheep in there. And instead of like completely ravaging and dismantling that sheep piece by piece, hunting it, he like plays with it, like acts like a kitten, you know, and the sheep is like the new friend. And this lion is completely fucking useless at being an actual lion and would die out in the wild. That's what men have become today. We have government funded programs called men's sheds where we could all get together and repair a lawnmower so we could feel useful. What the fuck dystopia are we living in? That's just so cool. Wow, it like breaks my heart.
And it's one of the things that I've really learned from this. I wish I'd known more about it before. It's like, have you heard of this thing about men communicating more easily shoulder to shoulder than face to face? Have you come across this?
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
It's really interesting. So when my wife would sometimes, when our boys came home from school, she'd sit down directly opposite them, like across the breakfast bar type thing, right? And she'd sit directly opposite and give them protein. And then she'd be like, how's your day?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I don't know. Right? She'd be like, yeah, right. And then later on, we'd be driving somewhere or watching soccer or playing a video game, like shoulder to shoulder. And they'd be like, yeah, this weird thing happened today with her or with me. So eventually I said, you've got to stop staring them in the face. That's not how men open up, right? And so the men's sheds movement is actually, I think, based on a profound insight, which is that men have to be doing something in order to be being with their friend. Go into any coffee shop, count how many people are sitting there staring at each other for hours on end, mostly women. Not saying, right? And then go to fishing, road trips.
I hate what this society is. I'm not watching any more of this. Fuck you, whoever sent me this. I'm not. Sorry. The basics of everything I've been saying, we need it to be explained. Yeah, dude, go do something physical so you can actually open up and talk with a man. Oh, fuck, man. Is this where we are? Is this society today? Is that fucking much we've fallen off, dude? God, does this not just scream pathetic? How the fuck are women supposed to respect men and men supposed to lead women when we need shit like this? Government-funded shed programs to go fucking fix a lawnmower. Oh my God, dude. We're accepting the bare minimum. Do you guys not see what's wrong with this? Go to the fucking gym. Go eat clean. Stop with the sugary drinks. Fuck off from video games, anime, anything else that's entertainment. Fuck off from this channel, YouTube, everything. Pick up books. Start reading shit. Go out into the world. Touch grass. Break your fucking body down. Go running, go swimming, go rock climbing, go hiking, go camping. Go out into the real world, not your little digital one. Stop being a fucking cuck in your room, doing a bunch of fuck all nothing while your body wastes away. Then go join other things where men do the same physical activities. Go to a boxing gym. Go get punched in the fucking mouth. You need it. It'll wake you up to life. Go get choked out by somebody. Go train. Go exert some physical kinetic energy on a fucking object. You will feel 1,000 times better than the stupid therapy they'll tell you to go to and sit down and talk, than your fucking video games that you're playing, than anything else that they'll recommend that you do today. Back to basics, like you're a caveman. You know when you feel good? Chasing down a fucking animal and then watching the life drain from its eyes. Then you bring it back and you feel great as you watch the village eat the meal that you sacrificed so hard to get. Almost your life. Jesus, bro. We got to tell men to do the bare fucking minimum. We don't even have gym class anymore from what I'm hearing. In high schools, people don't even do physical activity whatsoever. How more disconnected from the body could you possibly be? A man that's disconnected from his body is disconnected from the rest of the physical world. He's lost. How do you expect him to retreat within himself and then connect spiritually, psychologically, when you're not even grounded in the physical realm? That door is closed off forever. That is why being physical is so important for men. This is how we became spiritual. This is how we had groundbreaking ideas. Through physical activities. That's when your brain, your juices start flowing. Why do you think when you go on a walk, just crazy thoughts start to hit you? Why do you think when you're running, when you're lifting weights, you start to have these light bulb moments? This is what we are. This is how you foster creativity, groundbreaking ideas. Dude, there's going to be no replacement for this shit. No amount of digital world that they're building, no amount of shows that you're watching, Netflix that you're consuming, videos like this. It doesn't matter until you touch fucking grass in the real world. Hate to be that guy, but I'm over it, dude. How many more of these do we got to watch? I mean, woe is me. Woe is me. It's like the opposite side of the bitches that are complaining about men and they're getting pumped and dumped. It's like men are doing this shit to themselves. Woe is me. Woe is me. What did you do today, Ted? Nothing. I woke up, jacked off, played video games, and I ate some shitty food, and then I went back some more video games and I took a nap. All right, you expect your life to get better? How? Well, it's just not fair. I have to work so hard. No shit. You want a fucking handout like a bitch? Bro, life is a competition. Some of us get a head start, some of us don't. It is what it is. Accept the fucking rules and move on. Over the bitching, over the whining, over the complaining. You're a fucking man. Act like one. Find your balls, grip them, and go out into the real world. Figure it out. It's what you were created to do. Solve fucking problems and ascend beyond your limits. There's divinity within you. But you've been taught to be a weak fucking cuck like that little lion that plays with the sheep instead of fucking mauling it to death. Ridiculous, bro. Everybody wants their balls fondled today and told, how, it's okay. It's okay. Shut the fuck up. Get off the internet. Go work out. Sick of this shit. Want to hear no fucking complaints. Anywho, I didn't have my coffee today. So maybe that's why I'm going off on everyone. Hope you guys enjoy the rant. Love you. Stop being soft pussies. It's for your own good. Damn. Tough love. It's what's needed, not this soft ass shit. We've been trying this soft ass shit for 30, 40 fucking years and look where it's gotten us. Time to go back to being hardcore. Love you guys. Take care. Go do something this weekend. Shut the goddamn screens off and we'll see you next time.